What's up everybody, I'm Brad from Astute Overwatch and welcome to your top 10 players for week 1 of stage 2. With the start of a new stage, obviously came the new meta along with a vast array of new maps, which contributed to the fact that team fights can now last approximately 564 hours, especially on 2CP maps, but I for one could not be more stoked about the Mercy nerfs that went through. We get to see Anna and Moira making more regular appearances, and obviously with that comes the triple or even quad tank compositions that can be so much fun to spectate. Every single pick is far more significant now than ever before, and that just makes the top 10 plays for each week all the more exciting. Let's jump right into things with the play in our number 10 spot. To kick things off, we have a great example of how efficient the communication is on the side of New York in their match against Florida. As we can see here, Florida actually enter this engagement with a pretty intelligent setup. They have Tavik activate his tire first so that they can get New York to back up. In doing so, NYXL fall slightly out of position and allow for Manitin to sneak around the side and drop a Graviton between them, pulling 3 members of New York together. Instantly recognizing the threat however, both Janice and Mano stop the tire from doing any damage. Janice raises his shield just in time whilst the sound barrier comes in and ensures that no lives are lost. To follow this up, Jonak entirely cancels out any damage that came in after the Ryan ult from Swoosh. The counter grab comes in shortly after, and that's the team fight wrapped up in New York's favour as they go on to win the map. This play is just a great example of how efficient New York are with their ults. Just quickly, it would be a crime to include this series and then not somehow mention Tavik's hilarious reflect kill onto Libero. The rocket actually would have killed him had it landed, but Tavik just didn't agree with the concept of death on this occasion. Just great plays all around this series.
Oh! Are you kidding me?
In our 9th spot, we have what is probably the most impressive sleep dart we've seen in the league to date. To paint the picture, Big Goose had just used his nano boost onto Shore4, so Shore4 then goes on to use his visor in combination, and before he even so much as empties his first clip, somehow Dak manages to find the craziest sleep dart from across the point. Being that precise is noteworthy in its own regard, but to cancel out 2 ultimates with a single ability is just something else. Great timing and precision from Dak in our number 9 spot. Our 8th play is from this week's breakout DPS star. The Philadelphia Fusion did not drop a single map this week, and that in large part has to do with this man right here. EQO stepped up big time at the start of stage 2 as he filled in for Shadowburn in one of the DPS slots. In his very first map on the main stage, EQO made a bold statement with tons of wild plays that just entirely shut down the Boston Uprising. None were more efficient however than this play right here, where he uses his dragonblade to just roll through members of the Uprising and send them all back to the spawn room to rethink their strategy. It's these types of plays that are the most demoralizing, where just a single offensive ult can be used to wipe out an entire team, and EQO manages to pull it off multiple times in his first appearance alone.
Making sashimi out of 2 already, and a 3rd, and a 4th.
Coming in at number 7, we see some ridiculous reaction times out of Hagopen. Now when this play happened live, it seemed as though something pretty spectacular had happened, and Hex even caught it and mentioned it on stream shortly after. But it wasn't until I slowed this play down that I really gained an appreciation for just how sharp the reaction times involved really were. Looking at it rather slowly, you can see at the top of your screen that it seems as though both Barney and Hagopen activate their ult at the exact same time. Whilst this is technically true, Hagopen knows that Zen's ult activates just a fraction of a second faster than Sombra's, and knows that he can enter his Transcendence just before the wave of the EMP hits him. I really wish we had another angle on this, perhaps an overhead, just to truly show how close these ultimates were lined up. Nonetheless, it's a crazily impressive play that genuinely could have resulted in a draw on this map had Hagopen not demonstrated his tremendous reaction time. The London Spitfire went on to quickly roll through Houston and take the first tick in order to come away with the win on this map. For number 6, we have a huge individual play from Munchkin on the Tracer. After a pretty slow teamfight, 3 members of the San Francisco team get bottled up into this narrow stairway, and immediately come to regret it. Munchkin sticks Sleepy with a pulse bomb as he then drops into both Baby Bay and Dak, killing 3 birds with 1 stone, or in this case 3 squishies with 1 pulse bomb. He ends the fight in no time at all as he single-handedly eliminates both healers from the battle and entirely shuts down that defensive effort from San Francisco.
Be looking for kills, but a huge pulse bomb ends the fight right then and there.
In at number 5, we have one of the more underappreciated moments of the week. In a series full of absurd multi-kills, I would be remiss not to mention AKM's near team-killing effort, but that isn't our 5th play this week. Whilst sure it was flashy, most of the targets were either softened up for AKM already, or had decided that the teamfight was a wash and were trying to jump off the map as quickly as possible to get back and set up for a point B defense. So whilst that play was cool in its own right, our actual play in this spot is from Hydration in the 3rd map of the same series. Playing on Pharah without a Mercy to pocket you is always a pretty risky idea, but looking at the composition for Dallas Fuel here, perhaps it was a wise choice because they didn't really have all too much to counter him with. To start the impressive play, Hydration kills both Rascal and Effect off screen and then goes on to boot Mickey from the map, something that you don't see happening all too often to a diva main. He then presses onto the point, and again keep in mind he's doing all of this without a Mercy to damage boost him or keep him alive. With his barrage he goes on to take out Custer and finish off XQC before taking the point. A seriously impressive showing from Hydration as he almost single-handedly wipes the Dallas team one by one. In our number 4 spot, we have a play that, if anything, just goes to show how far the level of competition has progressed since the Overwatch League began a mere 7 weeks ago. A quad kill with a diva bomb from Zunba to save a point being captured is only enough to warrant the 4th best spot on this list. Actually vocalizing it makes it sound even more absurd. But anyways, as we clearly just saw, Zunba hit a monstrous diva bomb as he sends it into the corner of the 2nd point on Hollywood. With the ultimate, he manages to catch San Francisco off guard and takes out 4 of them in an effort to stall the payload out just over a meter away from hitting the checkpoint. Without a doubt, the single most impressive diva bomb of the week.
The shield is down, it gets broken as well, and there you go, it couldn't have been better!
For number 3, we have Carpe doing Carpe things. That's right, you're not seeing Pine on the Widow this week, no Fleta, no Lynxer, nuh-uh, that crown belongs to Carpe this week as he went on streak after streak with Widow through the 2 matches that the Fusion were able to sweep. In this position, it's actually next to impossible for Boston to really try to shut him down. In doing so, Boston would have to send a flanker and they would have to completely ignore the payload, somehow get around 5 other members of the Philadelphia squad. And I mean, it's just not gonna happen. So taking full advantage of that position, Carpe puts on a show as his accuracy statistics skyrocket. First, he picks off Striker in impressive fashion, but then he effortlessly takes down Calyx as well. Nearly taken down himself, his team manages to keep him alive long enough so that he can take out Gamsu with this disgusting shot on Winston in flight. He peels back to the safety of the aforementioned position and just continues to go to work. In this second stretch of the clip, he only misses 2 shots, which is wild considering the fact that he shot 11 times in such a short span of time. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, Carpe is certainly one of the more underappreciated DPS stars in the league, but this play right here is sure to have earned him quite a few new fans. In our 2nd spot, we have an insane tire play from Jake. Coming after a few failed pushes onto the point from Houston, Jake calls in his tire and sends it directly into the line of sight of the Uprising, yet still catches them off guard. As you can see from this overhead shot, the graviton goes out from Kalios and it's as though everyone on the side of Boston directs their attention towards the grab and away from everything else. Jake's tire manages to pick off 4 members of the Boston squad, including Note before he can remech. So despite losing both their healers in that grab, a single ultimate from Houston was enough to come in clutch, win the teamfight and take the first point on King's Row. Our top play of the week, funnily enough, is from the exact same map as the play in our 2nd spot and actually occurred just a single teamfight earlier. So prior to being overwhelmed by the absurd quad tire from Jake, Boston figured they'd one-up the green wall in advance with this truly ridiculous set of events. As we can see, Houston wanted the high ground with this attack, so everyone bundles up and moves together towards the stairs on the right hand side. Little did Boston know it was actually kind of a ruse, as Moomer is seen instantly charging down the stairs to get this lucky pick. He pins Dreamcasper out of his animation, Moomer gets the kill but is then entirely left out of position from the rest of his team. Neko realizes this immediately, puts his nano boost onto the low HP Gamsu, and Gamsu just goes to work. He takes out Moomer and sees the rest of the Houston team left defenseless on the staircase. Slamming down onto 4 members of Houston and dealing so much damage to all of them that all he needs to do is swing his hammer once and both healers fall. He's left with only 6 HP as his team comes to his rescue, but just look at the reaction time. To be able to time that Earth Shatter so that it hits almost the entire team is just crazy. Without a doubt the most impactful Earth Shatter to date, and the follow-up was all from Gamsu. Incredible stuff from him in this play despite the Boston team not picking up a map in stage 2. So there it is, that's our top 10 plays for the start of Stage 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to voice your opinions in the comments below, let me know what you think I missed or what plays you value over others. I always enjoy that discussion. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to see the videos like this every week. Thanks for watching, as always, I'll see you in the next one.